The formula that we're looking at today is the surface area formula. And surface area, if you'll remember, first of all, when you learned about area, you learned that the area of a rectangle is length times width. So what you're finding is completely what covers the inside of this rectangle. And so when we're looking at surface area, we're looking at adding up the area of each of the sides of a rectangle. So for example, let's look at this box, Girl Scout cookie box. If we're finding the surface area, we're adding up really all the area of every single side of the box. Okay, so when we look at the formula is surface area is equal to 2 times the length times the width, which would be the area of one of the sides times 2, plus 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the width times the height. And a lot of people ask, well, does it matter which side? Which side is the length, which is the width, which is the height? The answer to that is it really doesn't matter as long as you're consistent with which letter you give to which number. Because if we look at this box, I could say this is the length, this is the width, and this is the height. But as soon as I turn the box a different way, then my numbers are going to be on a different side of the box. However, as long as you get all of those three numbers into the formula, then it doesn't matter. So what we'll do, every time you look at a picture, you are going to write next to it which is the length, which is the width, and which is the height. So let's say we're going to agree that this 5 is the length, and that the 2 is the width, and that the 3 is the height. And I do want you to write that down, because next to the number, write which measurement it is so that you don't get confused when you're plugging into the formula. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and plug in our numbers. And we're multiplying by 2 because a rectangular prism has 6 sides, and if you notice, the opposite sides are the same exact area. This front and the back are the same, the top and the bottom are the same, and the 2 sides are the same. So that's why each side that we find the area for, we're going to multiply by 2. Okay, so we're going to keep the 2 in there. 2 times the length, which is 5. 5 times the width, which is 2. Plus 2 times the length, which is 5. And the height, which is 3. Plus 2 times the width, which is 2. Times the height, which is 3. Okay, order of operations tells us that we have to multiply before we add. So we're going to multiply each section, each of these 3 numbers together, and we'll add at the end. So 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20. Bring down your addition sign. 2 times 5 is 10, times 3 is 30. And then 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. Okay, so now to get the surface area, all we have to do is add the 3 numbers. So in this case, and you can always add them down the side if you need to, but 20 plus 30 is 50, plus 12 is 62. And we can't forget our units. In this case, I did not tell you what the units were, I just gave numbers, so we're going to use the word units. If I had said centimeters or meters or inches, we would have used that particular unit, but since I didn't tell you what, it's going to just be units. And because we're dealing with area and the whole number of squares that fit into that flat surface, we need to use the squared symbol. So 62 units squared is the surface area of this particular rectangular prism.